The chaos started with Linda Baxter's voice slicing through the air like a fire alarm. There's a woman in a soldier costume terrorizing the block. 3 police cruisers screeched into our cul-de-sac like they were responding to a hostage situation. My wife, Captain Elena Torres, stood calm and collected in her Air Force Service uniform, holding a box labeled classified personnel files, expression steady like she was briefing a squadron. Linda, self-appointed dictator of the Willow Grove HOA, flailed like she'd just uncovered a deep state conspiracy. The absurdity was poetic. Elena, a decorated officer who'd survived a missile standoff in the Gulf and a jet crash in the Pacific, now accused of impersonating military personnel for unloading a moving truck. In uniform. You ever see someone try to detain an Air Force captain with a laminated HOA handbook? That actually happened. It all began the day we moved into Willow Grove, a Virginia suburb with more regulations than residents and enough nosy neighbors to rival a surveillance agency. Elena, fresh from a tour overseeing Indo-Pacific airspace, was a force of calm in chaos, the kind of person whose silence made people nervous. Me, I'm Mark Torres, civilian data analyst, just trying not to drop our toaster while navigating the U-Haul. We were dusty, exhausted, focused on settling in, not ready for a turf war with a woman who looked like a reality show villain. That was the day we met Linda, or as she barked, President Linda Baxter of the Willow Grove Homeowners Association, late 40s, peroxide bob, zebra shawl that screamed I own this cul-de-sac. She ignored me entirely and zeroed in on Elena like a heat-seeking missile. "Excuse me," she snapped, jabbing a finger at the uniform. "Is this some kind of costume party?" Elena turned, voice flat. "No, ma'am. I'm active duty Air Force." That should have ended it. Most people would have thanked her for her service. Not Linda. "We don't allow military get-ups here," she scoffed. "It's unsettling for families, and camouflage violates our aesthetic code." I choked on air. Elena blinked, more baffled than angry. "This is my service uniform. I report to base after we unpack." Linda's lips curled like she'd caught a scammer. "Sure it is. Bylaws ban fake military displays. Take it off or I'm calling the cops." Elena glanced at me. "Should I change?" I shook my head. "Let's see how far she goes." Spoiler, she went nuclear. 10 minutes. Later, sirens, 3 cruisers, lights flashing, boxes stacked around us like a bunker. Linda waved the officers over like she'd called in a SWAT team. "That's her, the impersonator." The lead officer, buzzcut and skeptical, approached. "Ma'am, can I see ID?" Elena calmly handed over her credentials. His eyes widened. "Captain Torres, Langley Air Operations Command." Linda's smug expression cracked. Another officer whispered into his radio. Moments later, a black sedan with a military seal rolled in. Linda paled. "Arrest her," she stammered. "She threatened me." Elena raised an eyebrow. "The only thing I've threatened is packing tape." Her tone was light, but her stare could have grounded a fighter jet. Linda had no idea she challenged someone who'd stared down enemy radar. The senior officer nodded respectfully. "Captain Torres, thank you for your service. Anything we can assist with?" Elena shrugged. "Just trying to move in." Apparently, that's controversial. The officers chuckled. Linda didn't. Maybe she's real. But that uniform violates HOA policy. Buzzcut officer turned, voice sharp. "Ma'am, you know it's a crime to falsely report a military officer." "I didn't know she was real," Linda muttered. I stepped in. "That's the problem. You didn't ask." Neighbors peeked through blinds, phones recording. "Is she really Air Force? Wasn't there a drone op last year?" Elena gave a nod, turned back to the truck. But Linda wasn't done. As we unloaded, she huffed, "I'm filing a complaint. Military or not, she's not above our standards. I couldn't help it. Lady, she outranks your entire zip code. She commands air wings, not lawnmowers." Elena shot me a warning smirk hybrid but didn't disagree. That night, as the sun sank behind perfectly manicured lawns, Elena wiped sweat from her brow. Day 1, and I'm already a 911 call. I handed her a beer. "Personal record." She laughed, but there was a tired edge to it. She'd given 18 years to this country, missed anniversaries, survived crashes, led missions. But to Linda, she was just a problem in polyester. The next morning, our dog growled. Linda stood across the street, arms crossed, staring at our house like she could will it to disappear. 5 solid minutes. Smile for a jogger. Death glare resumes. Petty? No, this was a declaration of war. Elena stepped out for a jog, tying her shoes. Linda pounced, waving a citation. You're in violation of Article 4, Section B. That Air Force flag under the American one? Not board approved. Elena didn't even flinch. That's a federally protected flag. HOA can't override that. Linda waved her off. $75 a day until it's down. She marched off like she'd served a warrant. I handed Elena coffee. We stared at the flagpole. This'll get worse, Elena nodded. She thinks she's a general. She's about to meet one. By midweek, we had 8 violations: moving truck noise, dog barking, Elena's provocative running shorts. Fines totaled $400. Elena refused to pay. She stacked them like evidence for a tribunal. Then the whispers began. A neighbor, Carl, texted, "Linda's been nuts for years. You're the first to push back. I'll support you at the board meeting." Encouraged, we walked the block. Linda's influence was everywhere. Lawns posted signs, "Order protects us," but then we saw a Marine emblem in someone's flower bed. The homeowner, Ed, a retired colonel, grinned. Linda fined me for a flag on Veterans Day. I paid in nickels. She's hated me since. Keep going. People are waking up. That night, a note on our porch, "You've got more allies than you know." Inside, an Air Force Challenge coin. Elena held it, jaw tight. She's trying to make me feel like I don't belong. I fought for this country. I'm not leaving. Then Linda escalated. A neighborhood flyer, safeguarding Willow Groves. Civilian identity. It ranted about military intimidation. Elena read it, folded it, archived it without a word. Me? I was ready to burn the HOA bylaws. The tipping point came when a black SUV rolled up. Linda had told people we were running a surveillance hub. Someone tipped off the Dodd. 2 agents flashed badges. Any unauthorized communications equipment? Elena served coffee, showed her orders, logs, and base clearance. One agent laughed. "Cleanest setup we've seen. Someone's got a grudge." Their report triggered a legal warning to the HOA. False claims could result in lawsuits. The board started whispering about Linda. Then a reporter, Sarah Miles, caught wind of it through a base contact. Elena didn't want the spotlight, but I pushed. This isn't just about us. It's for every vet who's been hassled. The interview aired on Tuesday. By Wednesday, our porch was covered in cards, baked goods, and quiet apologies. Linda snapped. She filed a complaint claiming Elena's uniformed TV appearance defamed the community. That was the last straw. The board called a closed-door review. Word leaked they were looking at her history. Carl told us she fined a Spanish-speaking family for a welcome sign, a disabled vet for a ramp, a couple for painting their shutters. Unapproved beige. Linda wasn't just strict, she was discriminatory. Elena attended the hearing armed with every citation, the Dodd report, and that flyer. Her statement was precise, professional. "I don't want revenge. I want respect for me and every military family here. No one should face this for serving their country." The board said nothing, but their faces said everything. The next day, Linda sent a community-wide email titled "The Uniformed Threat to Our Peace." It was so unhinged that 35 residents petitioned for her removal, well over the 25 required. The vote was set. The day arrived with the tension of a thunderstorm. Neighbors streamed into the clubhouse. Linda sat up front, her face calm but her eyes frantic. Elena wore her dress uniform not as a statement, but as a reminder. The board, read the petition aloud: misuse of power, harassment, false claims. Linda spoke first, a shaky speech about media bias and defending community values. Then Elena stood. "I didn't ask for special treatment. I asked for fairness. What I got were threats and fines for wearing my uniform, for doing my job. This isn't about me. It's about